tile to the wall, it can be a little intimidating. We're going to simplify that today. So usually when you take a thin set mortar or a mastic, you use a trowel and you apply it to the wall. Then you got to make it nice and smooth because we're going to use glass. We're going to simplify that. We're actually going to use this right here. This is a tile adhesive on a roll. It's actually like a big roll of two-faced tape, and we'll stick the tile to that. We're also going to take the tile and we're going to cut it into strips like that so we can go up your wall with about a 5.5-inch backsplash.
That'll make it a lot easier so we don't have to cut around these outlet covers.
It sure will. All right, let's get started by installing our tile adhesive on the wall. Now the chalk line will give us a nice straight line to follow, and we could cut the tile adhesive using a pair of scissors, but I'm going to actually use a utility knife with a straight edge. Lay it on here like this, take a measurement, down here. Okay, now just follow my straight edge. We're going to start right here in the corner where the bar top meets the countertop. First thing I did is I notched the corner of the adhesive to go under the nosing of the bar top. Next thing I want to do is I want to peel away this membrane to expose the adhesive on the tape. Now I'll position it on the wall just a little bit below my line, bringing it into the corner. I want to keep it nice and flat. We don't want to have any bubbles or creases in it. All right, now we're going to start laying out the tile. And we're going to cut the height first. To do that, I'm going to hold it up against the wall. And I want to stop right here at this row, which is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 rows up. So hold my finger right there, flip it around, and I'm going to cut this mesh right there with my utility knife. All of our tile are cut to the right height of the backsplash. Now the next thing I need to do is create a straight line on the end. Now I could cut individual pieces and fit them in here, giving me a straight line. But I think what I want to do is cut off these pieces using my wet saw and then butt it up against the cabinet. The stone tile on each sheet will absorb water when you cut it on the wet saw, so it's very important that you let the stone dry out or it will not stick to the mat. All right, so now we're ready to apply the tile to the wall. First thing I want to do is remove our coating. I want to make sure that I have an even grout line along the countertop. So I'm going to use my metal ruler as a spacer and lay the tile on it. Now I want to position the first piece using very little pressure. That way if I have to reposition it, I can. Once it's in position, I push it firmly against the mat to set it in place. Another nice thing about this tile adhesive, we can grout the tile right away. If we used a thin set or a mastic, we would have to wait overnight for the mastic to dry. We're also going to use a pre-mixed grout with a rubber float.
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
I think you are too. It looks good. All right, we've let our grout set up for about 5 or 10 minutes, and now we're going to take a sponge and some clean water and wipe off the surface of the tile, cleaning the excess grout away.
So how wet should the sponge be?
Well, enough water to soften the grout that's on the surface, but not too much water to wash the grout out of the joint. Well, what do you think, Nate?
Well, Tommy, the countertop looks fantastic up against this tile.
In about 4 or 5 hours, when the grout dries, you're going to notice a haze on the tile. Just take a damp cloth like this, or even a damp sponge, and keep wiping it.